Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Divine Speaker. Last time I left you guys off after we fucked up Nox, or at least someone that we just met fucked up Nox and like sealed him away or something. I don't think they killed him. And now I think we're leaving that town. It's been almost a year, maybe only like 6 months, but it's been too long. I don't really remember what's going on, but I want to finish at least one route of this game before I, move on to another game. Just because I always start playing way too many games, and then I forget which games I'm playing, and then I never finish them. So I just want to finish this game. So I'll be playing this, Camp Buddy, and Our Life on Streams until I finish one of them. So I'll limit myself to like 3 games. Hopefully I'll be able to finish one of them eventually. Anyway, so yeah, we're leaving the town after we solved the case. The murders, whatever. The fading sun had left the sky long ago, and it was already deep into the night. How time flies when you're having fun. Most of the others had gone to sleep, but I couldn't. The moon was big and round in the sky. A full moon. Quietly, yeah, that's... Yeah, you're right. That's an A+. What's his name again? Rhine? Rhine? Is that right? Yeah, A+. When a moon is big and round, that means it's a full moon. Good job. Quietly, I opened a small window and reached my hand towards it. Even if I was far from home, we were still under the same sky. I'm doing fine.
Ouch!
Okay, no, it's rain, not Rhine. Okay, rain. A leaf brushed against my fingers, leaving a thin slice down one of them. A drop of blood fell onto the forest floor. What forest are we in? The forest of razor-sharp leaves? Hello? You can't get a paper cut from a leaf, at least I don't think. Is that a thing? Maybe like a dry leaf, possibly. I don't know. That seems unlikely. I closed my eyes and leant back in my seat, leaving the windows open. The soft, cool breeze felt nice, like, unless the leaf had thorns on it, but I don't know, it didn't seem that way. Alright. I blinked my eyes open slowly. Outside, it was still dark. I mustn't have been asleep for long. Everyone else still had their eyes shut, sleeping. The gentle rock of the... Wait a second. Why have we stopped? Quietly, I opened the door and left the carriage. I like how he started going with the gentle rocking of... Wait, it's not rocking. Light from the moon illuminated the area enough for me to find my way to the front of the carriage. No one sat in the driver's seat, and all 3 of the horses were nowhere in sight. Something moved in the corner of my vision. When I looked closer, I saw a large bird perched on a low branch. It spread its wings wide before flying off into the night. White, brown, and yellow. An eagle.
What's happened?
America.
You're awake too? I heard you open the door and leave, so I thought I'd come check on you. Ether, he's gone. All the horses too.
The fuck's Ether? That was not the green-haired man's name, I know that. Ether was someone driving us? Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think he even got a sprite, so I don't know.
Stay here. Let me go and wake everyone up.
Ether cannot recall any such thing. With his hand resting on the carriage, he found his way back inside and returned with the rest of the group a few moments later.
What do you mean he's gone? He wouldn't just take off.
Oh, I think it was Sign's butler or something?
Well, it looks to me like he left us stranded out here. Not even a single horse in sight.
Well, now, why would he do that?
Why would he just leave us here? I mean, he didn't like us, but is that enough to...
But he wouldn't leave his master.
I've known him all my life. There's no way he abandoned us. Something must have happened.
Whether something happened to him or not really isn't the issue. Either way, we're still stranded out here.
What do we do?
No point sitting around waiting for him. I say we start walking now.
Another trek through a forest. Damn, we just keep having to do that. God, and it looks like there's a space between the F and the O in forest. Is that just justify at work, or is there actually a space there?
Is it far? Walking, probably a day and a half. Not impossible, but we do have luggage.
Leave it to me.
Ilran went back to the carriage and returned with Soren over his shoulder.
Show off.
Who the fuck is Soren?
We only need to cross the forest, and then we'll practically be at the gates of Sidcam. If I get too tired, one of you will have to carry me too.
Okay. And I think we're going to Sidcam because Rain's father, Prince Caspian, we think he may be there, but I mean, he's already dead, or at least he's probably not there, or I don't know. I can't quite remember. But we're trying to follow, like, I don't know, Rain's past or something. I don't know. We're trying to figure out how he's important to all of this nonsense.
I wouldn't count on it. Anyway, you probably need the workout. Surprised you can stand with your scrawny little legs.
No one else complains about my legs. In fact, I usually get complimented on how well they wrap around people.
Follow me.
Damn,
it's still late,
Fawn's...
so I say we walk for a little and then find somewhere to set up camp for the night. Sound good?
Fawn is just done with Signs bullshit. Honestly, I would have picked Fawn's route first, but it's just only Signs route had voice acting at the time. I think they've all been updated to have voice acting at this point, though. Ilran and Varys walked ahead, leading us. They walked close together, but not close enough to touch. Their relationship was truly interesting. Oh, okay, we're just thinking about the relationship, what they do to each other behind closed doors. Why they started traveling together in the first place, though, who could know? A god and a human walking side by side as equals. It sounds impossible.
It's freezing tonight. It's only going to get colder. Sidcam is covered with snow for most of the year. It's like a winter wonderland. How can you survive if it's always so cold? We've adapted. We grow our food in greenhouses and make sure to dress warmly, pretty much. You'll have to try to get a hold of some winter clothes when you get there.
He eyed up Leos and Fawn.
You two especially. You'll turn into popsicles with that much skin exposed.
I already feel like I'm turning into one.
Around us, sounds could be heard in the far-off distance, quiet enough to question if you truly heard them, or if it was your imagination. It sounded like whispering, as if the trees were talking to each other. I shook my head, dismissing such thoughts. It must be the branches creaking in the wind. There was no other explanation. We continued on like this for a while, with only a few words spoken between us. All of us were frozen to the core and exhausted.
Let's set up camp ahead, slightly off the road. Wouldn't want to get run over by a passing carriage in the night.
Ilran sat Soren against the tree, and everyone collapsed into a heap under the overgrowth of the forest. Why is the forest a key word? And how do I... Oh, can I just click on it? Okay. The deep scarlet of the Almaroth forest runs through the fastest road to Sidcam, yet it's normally avoided at all costs. They say that the Amaranth Forest has the power to sway those full of anger, driving them to kill, and the blood from these murders is what keeps the trees red all year round. It's unknown how much of the rumor is true, yet the warning is heeded by most. I kind of remember that now. Oops. Oh god. Get me out. Return. Where was I? The moon sat high in the sky, giving off no signs of leaving anytime soon. Yeah. That's what the moon does. Bitch, what did they teach you back at that commune you were at?
Let's decide watch for the night, so there's always someone awake to keep an eye out.
An eye out for what?
I have no clue, but I'd rather not find out. For now, I'm gonna go find some stuff to light a fire with. Leos?
Need my help, do ya? Fine.
The two disappeared into the tree line, leaving me with Vera, Sign, and Fawn.
This isn't exactly where I expected to be staying the night. How will I survive sleeping like this?
So will a breeze just totally expose his cock to us? You know, if it just... a little wind pushes up that robe? Just asking.
Oh, Fawn! You must be used to this kind of thing, right?
Sorry, I was thinking about Varys' cock. What were you saying, Sign?
What? You know, being a forest dweller, this must feel like home to you.
Is that discrimination? Is that racism? Against tree folk like Fawn?
Aw, you're no fun. It's so cold. How will I even live through the night? If only I had someone to keep me warm. You can sit closer to me if you need to.
Uh-oh. Sounds like some sexual assault's about to happen. To me.
Fawn?
And Fawn is getting really pissed off.
Huh? Yes, Rain?
He is so friend-zoned right now. He smiled sweetly at me. I thought I just heard him click his tongue, but I guess not.
My Rain is such a sweet, kind boy. You should be careful, you know. If you run into the wrong kind of person, you could get taken advantage of.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna wake up to his mouth wrapped around my...
Don't you worry. I'll keep an eye out for you. Thanks. I've always been told I'm a little bit of a dope. But I'm trying to stop trusting people so easily.
Bitch, you sure? It's not what you're doing right now. Sign leaned into me, snuggling up close.
You three seem like an interesting trio. I'm surprised you all get along so well.
Are you kidding? Do you feel the tension in this group? Seriously, we're one sex scene away from a complete falling out.
Get along well? Is that what you think?
Right?
Well,
He was so quiet up until now, I almost forgot he was there. I want to talk to him properly soon. I almost feel like I have to learn more about him. It's important.
Since we have a lot of time on our hands, I wanted to ask, can you tell me more about Sidkayam? What's it like? Imagine a vast city of marble and gold, with pools of water that freeze over during the cold months. Imagine a scene of tall, peaked roofs against the backdrop of snowy mountains.
it's beautiful. Especially when snow lines every walkway and kids are out building snowmen.
Have you seen it?
I forgot to mention that when I'm not in this form, I can see just fine. I'm sorry if I confused you.
Why are you in this form right now anyway? Why don't you just turn... Wasn't he like a bird before? Why aren't you in bird form? Seems like it'd be more useful for everybody.
I lost my sight in exchange for this human body. A large price, but nothing when compared to the alternative. I've had the last few hundred years to get used to it, anyway.
As a bird you can see? Why wouldn't you keep that form all the time then?
My man Rain.
I don't know. I can do more to help while I'm like this, but I think half the reason is that I enjoy being able to talk with Ilron. I've definitely spent more time in this form since we met.
You two seem really close. How long ago did you meet?
Must have been around 7 years ago now, when he was only 19.
Was he as much of a handful as he is now?
No, he was much worse. He was especially broody and sometimes hateful. But we've both learned a lot from each other. In a way, I feel like we've taught each other to be human.
What do you want to know?
I'm just curious about you.
I'm not in the business of giving out personal information to bastards like you. Sorry.
We'll resume this conversation another time then.
Please don't.
Leos and Ilrian appeared from the shadows, both with arms full of twigs and leaves, bickering. They were both carrying more than I thought we needed. I shook my head, forcing my laugh down. It was like a competition to the two of them. Leos wasn't used to not winning. They piled up the tinder and wood, and Ilrian took a small flint out of his pocket and lit the fire. Quickly, the whole pile became alight, turning into a roaring flame. The warmth spread through my body quickly, and I could finally feel my fingers and toes again. We all gathered in close, raising our hands to the flames. All of us apart from one. Fawn sat a small distance away against a tree.
Aren't you cold? No, I'm warm enough over here.
I'll take watch first. Leos?
I'll go after you if I have to.
Put me somewhere in the middle. Whatever is fine.
Well, I'll go after Sign? I guess that would give me a chance to talk to him, right?
I'm happy to go after Sign.
Well, that was easy. Varys, you can take the slot after Cabbage Patch over here.
Cabbage Patch?
Got it.
The rest of you should get some sleep while you can. There's only a few hours until sunrise.
The heat from the crackling flames was finally starting to make me feel a warm sleepiness, so I laid down by the fire and closed my eyes. Sleep found me despite the location. It was quiet, completely, utterly quiet. Not just the camp where most of the others were still curled up fast asleep. It was my mind, too. No voice spoke to me, reaching through my empty dreams. It was like my thoughts has become blank. What? Huh? What is he saying, even? No voice came to me? Yeah, voices usually don't come to me either. What are you saying? With a sigh, I sat up slightly. It was strange, really. How fast you can become accustomed to something. Not hearing that voice. Why did it feel so wrong? So alarming. Oh, I guess he was hearing some voices while he slept, right? I'm being too hard on him. I guess he misses the voices now. They were comforting. I took a long look around the camp. Ilran was asleep not far from me, so I guess his shift must have ended. I don't think I'll be able to get back to sleep yet, so I might as well get up and stretch my legs. A shadow stood by the other side of the fire, facing away from me. Short. Must be Sign. Little manlet. I should surprise him as revenge for that time in Soren's mansion. What if we wake everyone up? They'd be pissed off. Slowly, I snuck up behind him, creeping ever so slowly. 3, 2, 1...
Boo! Ah!
I think the only thing stopping him from collapsing was my two arms, which were wrapped around his waist. Sexual.
Gotcha! Ugh. You know,
He turned around to face me, wrapping his arms around my neck.
feeling frisky tonight, are we? You don't have to surprise me to get my attention. Just drag me off into the bushes and have your way with me already.
I'm not sure this is the time or the place.
I don't think you even understand what he's suggesting anyway.
That makes it even better. Don't you think a little scandal excites things?
Well, I'm not sure. I guess it might.
I was going to come wake you soon so you could take over, but since you came early, what should we do? We'll just have to find some way to pass the time, right? Oh, what could we possibly do?
I wouldn't mind talking for a while, if you want to.
Just talking? Well, I guess we could. We can save the other stuff for later.
We both took our hands away from each other and sat down in front of the fire. It was still burning steadily, keeping us both toasty.
You know, all that stuff in Oxabor was pretty fun, right? A murder mystery that's gone on for hundreds of years, and we're the ones to crack it. Detective Sign was on the case, so of course we worked it out easily.
Well, the murderer really just directly came to us and asked us to solve the case, so... I mean, the lid was blown off before we even got there, really. You know, if he asked anybody to solve the case, you know, they would have cracked it too, but hey.
Fun?
Gotta take those, gotta take it where you can.
Yeah, questioning people and investigating is so cool. Okay, I'll admit it. It was a little crazy toward the end, and I was scared. Not just a little bit either. It was terrifying. It was terrifying that we could have been killed and eaten by a fallen god. How is that even possible, you know? I feel like I'm in over my head here.
It's just lucky that Ilron and Varys were there. Because otherwise, I don't want to think about it.
You've barely had a chance to get to know me. Oh, that would have been a travesty. You would have died a virgin.
The worst fate of all.
You really can't be serious for more than 2 sentences, can you?
Well, I can't be too boring, can I? I'd be all alone if I didn't know how to make things fun.
What?
I think that's enough about me. I'm more interested in you. You're still something of a mystery to me. You're involved with things like gods and demons. You grew up in a mythical, hidden town. Everything about you captivates me. So, I want to know what it was like being brought up in Aurelia Cavella. Was it like a cult or something?
And do they circumcise boys there or leave them intact? Just asking.
Growing up there, it seemed pretty normal to me. I grew up in a small orphanage, and in the last few years, I helped with caring for the younger kids.
Did you go to school?
There were a few, but I didn't go to one.
What about the speaker? What's he like?
That's a little hard to answer.
He was a little bitch.
Oh, he was the one that kicked you out, right? Sorry.
No, it's fine. He's, our leader. We all trust him. He speaks of the gods and protects us.
You don't sound too sure.
My faith is wavering a little. I want to believe. I really do, but...
Sounds difficult. You must be happy to be out of there.
I feel... well... I'm conflicted. Aurelia Cavella means the world to me. And of course staying there would have been easier, but... then I wouldn't have met any of you, or traveled to all of these places. I want to go back and tell everyone, but now isn't the time. I had to get answers before anything else. And now that Ilron and Varys are with us, and we have Nox to deal with, I have even more to do.
What do you mean we have Nox to deal with? I thought we dealt with him.
Oh, speaking of those two, what do you think about them?
Ilron's a crafty fox, and he's really smart, so I don't particularly like him. Being involved with someone like him probably isn't good news, although... he's pretty hot, right? His arms are gorgeous, and that chest...
What about Varys? What did you think about his story?
I feel lost. Before now, I held no belief in gods or demons. Even now, I find it hard to accept. He just seems like a normal person. For once, I feel like the only regular guy here, which is a first. I don't know if you realize it or not, but I usually stand out. It's confusing. Like, what have I gotten myself into now? This is the kind of stuff Ether warned me about. Honestly, when I met you, I never expected anything like this. You really are fun, you know that? Even with all the weird shit going on, At least it hasn't been boring.
You didn't believe in them?
Nope, never. But I'm not against believing. It's just not something that's ever crossed my mind.
With a yawn, Sign stretched out his arms sleepily.
I think it's my bedtime. Will you be okay by yourself?
Of course. Get some rest and we can talk more tomorrow.
If you miss me too much, you can come and wake me.
I'll keep that in mind.
Oops. He got up and turned to leave.
Whoa!
My apologies. Are you alright?
I'm fine. Good night.
I think I might have startled him. It's nearly my turn to take over, so I thought I'd join you for a while. Would you walk with me?
Nearly your time. No, it's my time now.
I'd love to.
For a while, we walked silently through the crimson forest, dyed black from the absence of light. The moon lit up enough of the forest for us to avoid finding ourselves lost, at least. Every now and then I heard the whispers of something far off in the distance, a soft buzzing of sounds that almost seemed like words, but they were unreachable. No matter how I strained my ears, they wouldn't reveal their meanings to me.
Do you hear it too?
I do. What is it? Insects? Animals?
Even I'm not certain. But I have a theory. I believe that long ago, a god inhabited and protected this land. But not any longer. I can still feel the wisps of a powerful soul here and there. But I don't sense anyone watching us. Perhaps that god moved on or disappeared, and left behind a gift to protect this forest. Or perhaps his soul is still stuck here. I don't know.
More gods. I feel like everywhere I turn, I can't avoid them.
I don't blame you. You've had a lot of encounters that most people would never even believe. I'm not sure if you're lucky or not. I could be wrong anyway. Perhaps nothing inhabits these woods. Maybe it's a crazy hermit living in the center all by himself, driving off travelers.
He laughed a little, raising his hand to his mouth. It was strange how calm I felt around someone I'd only just met. He was gentle and caring, enough so that I instantly felt okay with sharing more about myself with him.
Can I ask you something?
I'm always here to listen.
For a while now, I've been hearing strange voices in my dreams. Sometimes they're quiet, but sometimes they're frantic and loud, too. I don't know what they mean. But since we entered these woods, I haven't heard that voice. Not even once. You'd think I'd be happy about it, but I want to find out the truth. Not just have them disappear.
Schizo.
You might have no clue whatsoever, but I thought it was worth asking.
Perhaps the remnants of a divine do lie inside of the Amaranth then, and it's stopping whoever is speaking to you.
You think it's actually someone talking to me? Not just strange dreams?
I do. Yes. It's just a matter of working out who.
We circled around the camp and found ourselves back in front of the campfire. Varus sat first and motioned for me to sit next to him. The others all laid scattered around, sleeping soundly.
You're curious, aren't you? About me.
I am. If you're comfortable answering, there's something I'd like to know more about. You're a god, born from the heavens, but you said that you fell and had to take a mortal body, right? Like Nox, too. He was inside of Soren's body. Does that mean...
No. This body wasn't originally mine. The consequences must be dire for a god to take a human body. Nox was an exception, since the two existed within a single body. But normally the only way a god can take a human form is to enter a body at the exact second the original soul leaves. So, they have to die.
Then... your body...
That's right. When I was on my last legs, and I thought my only option would be to fade away, I was offered the body of a dying infant. The parents were both believers of mine.
Bruh.
They prayed and prayed to me to save their child, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing I tried could save him, and it was a decision that weighed on me heavily. But the parents, my parents, rejoiced. They named me Varus, after the god that saved their child. I grew up as a human, on a farm far away from here. My life was simple and happy.
A human family? Where are they now?
Dead.
They're long dead. This was 300 years ago.
So why did your aging stop at the hot, supple age of 20 years old? Or so? You know, like, why weren't you a little crying, annoying baby for 500 years?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't be. They may be gone now, but they still live on inside of me. I'll never forget the warmth that they gave me. I never told them the truth, not even on their deathbeds. I hope I did a good enough job at being their son.
It sounds to me like you were always meant to be their son.
Thank you, Rain. Growing up as a human gave me an insight that I never had before. Not in my life as a god, or my life before that. For that, I'll be forever grateful. I think that's the difference between Nox and I. He didn't get the chance to experience human warmth, so he never connected with mankind. He was thrown into a world of violence and deception, tortured for simply existing. I can't imagine how I would have turned out if that was my first experience with humans. It's difficult to blame him for what he did. Perhaps some of them truly did deserve to die, but he involved far too many innocents. It wasn't his place to judge them.
I can't forgive him, but he's also a victim in this, right?
I don't know.
That's right. A victim of circumstance. He never chose the life of a god. Anyway, I've kept you far too long. For now, go rest. We have a long journey ahead of us tomorrow.
Will you be okay by yourself?
Of course. I've somehow managed to survive these last few hundred years, so I think I can manage an hour or so.
I stood from my place beside Varus after saying goodnight and found a spot a little further from the fire. Silent sleep found me almost instantly upon shutting my eyes. I woke up to the sound of morning birds and the shuffling of feet. When I opened my eyes, I found Ilran checking over the camp.
Well, good morning, sunshine. Didn't feel like sleeping in today?
It's lucky I got any sleep out here.
Ah, roughing it every now and again is good for you. It builds some character. Plus, it really makes you appreciate those days where you have a roof over your head.
By the end of this, I should be full of character then. Maybe my expectations are too high, but I'm going to try to stick to a bed, at the very least.
Suit yourself. Since you're up, how about you go wake up your little posse?
One at a time, I woke up the other three. Leos grumbled and told me it was too early. Fawn got up with no issue and sighed clumsily when I poked at him, to Fawn's chagrin. I approached Soren quietly, but then realized that it didn't matter how loud I was. He wasn't going to wake up anytime soon. After all, his chest softly rose and fell, stuck in that eternal slumber. Wow, the way I read that was all off. At least he was alive. Hold on, Soren?
All right, it's about time we left. Otherwise, we'll just be wasting daylight. Come on, Leos, don't look so down. If you're really that tired, I can give you a piggyback. Or would you prefer princess style?
I prefer for you to disappear from my sight and never come back. I see you're not taking my preferences into account.
I'll be out of your hair soon enough. Being stranded out here wasn't my choice, you know.
We found our way back to the overgrown path and continued onwards. The red of the woods went on for as far as the eye could see. Does this truly lead to Sid KM? I mean, if it's snowing there and we haven't even seen a bit of snow, like, how much further do we have to walk? Is this even a possible journey to walk without, like, any supplies, really?
How far are we from Sidkayam?
If we continue at this speed, we should be there by tomorrow morning.
Bitch, how are we going to see that much snow that quick?
Think of it positively. Just one more night out here and then we'll be there.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad.
Maybe not for you, but my legs might fall off. Rain, carry me before I die of exhaustion.
Are you kidding me? You only just started walking.
My fragile, delicate body isn't used to bushwhacking. Rain.
Just for a little bit.
Are you serious? Don't even do it for a minute. That would exhaust you so much. I knelt down and he climbed onto my back, his arms around my neck.
Oh, poor baby Synaculus. Are those short legs tired?
Nah, it's my ass from the pounding Rain gave it last night.
What?
Oh my.
Leos's mouth was a perfect circle at Sign's statement, but don't they still not know what that is? Leos and Rain?
Sign? You shouldn't lie like that.
You're right. I'm fine even after.
Sign.
At least I remember back when I was playing this game, they had no idea what sex was.
Fine. Yes, it's my short little legs that are tired. Sadly, the fucking was only in my dreams.
He cuddled my head in close to him, attracting the angry gazes of both Fawn and Leos.
No one wants to hear that shit from you. Keep it to yourself.
Hey, Rain might. He's plenty interested in me.
He's always picking my choices whenever he gets the option. It's true. The bickering continued for a while before dying out. We walked for a few hours until the sun was high in the sky. After a while, Sign got bored of being carried and decided that annoying Leos and Fawn was more fun. The sunlight was warm and comforting, but the air was still crisp. The frosty breeze still blew through the treetops of rustling leaves. The path was rocky and uneven, making even walking even more difficult. I looked towards Varus. He wasn't even wearing shoes, so how was he not struggling? Well, he's a god. Actually, not wearing shoes is a little strange.
Can I ask you a question, Varus?
Of course.
He's got those god feet.
Why don't you wear any shoes?
That's because...
Wow, you haven't heard? It's the hottest trend in Sidkayam, you know. It's a sign of strength. Nothing can beat you. Not the rocks in the road, or the cold, or those tiny steps you never seem to notice and bang your toes on.
Wait, really?
It's true. All the hottest guys in Sidkayam are rocking it. Alas, I don't think I could do it. But you should try it out, Rain.
Why are they both lying like this? Do they need to see feet that badly? Why are you just horny posting like this? How hard are you for Rain's feet?
Then, why are you wearing shoes, Elron?
Me? I'm not brave enough. I don't think I could withstand the responsibility of being the strongest, most strapping man alive. Varus is tough enough for the both of us.
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Leos eyeing up his boots. He reached down with one hand, but decided against removing them. Oh, no Leos feet.
I don't think I'm as strong as you, Varus. I hope one day I'll be able to take off my shoes, too.
No, encourage him more. You know you want to see those sweaty toes. I'm sorry? What? I'm sorry, Elron. Can you say that again? Oh Lord, what even? That is something. What even? What is that? Just some sort of microphone issue? Very odd. Like, does this completely distorted? How did that make it into the final cut? Well, I have not I downloaded this game a long time ago, so maybe they've fixed it in an update since, but interesting.
Yeah. You do that, Rain.
Actually, Sign, it's not pronounced it's pronounced oh god. I just hit my head on my chair. Oh lord, it hurts. And I already had a headache. Oh lord, have mercy.
Yeah.
This sounds kind of...
You don't spoil the fun.
Come on, we just want to see those toesies.
Oh, on another note, there's actually something else I wanted to ask. You mentioned that something had happened to force most of the gods down to Vidus, right? What exactly happened?
Have you ever heard of the Aurelian War? It sprung about when the king of Sigcaum outlawed the speaker in the Aurelian religion.
Oh, the sign mentioned something about that. That the crown prince and the speaker left Sidcaeum and formed Aurelia Cavella secretly.
That's right. Before then, the Aurelian religion was spread over all of Vidus, but once it was made illegal, anyone found practicing it was punished severely. When the speaker left Sidcaeum, he took with him the only way to contact and speak to the gods. We had a choice to make. Leave with him and be trapped inside of Aurelia Cavella and live, or stay on the outside with no believers. As you know, having no believers means death. Most of us went. Some of us decided to risk it and stay to watch over Vidus. With no followers, we lost our power and fell to the mortal realm, taking bodies where we could find them, or choosing to die.
Alright, let's see this codex entry. Fall of the Gods. 500 years ago, the speaker and his followers left Sikkim to found the secluded... Well, this is basically what we just heard. In the years after the war, as believing in gods became outlawed. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Alright.
You already know what happened after that. Many of us were found and killed. Some were tortured and experimented on. And some went on to live human lives, blending in with society. We're all still trying to find our purpose.
Then the speaker does speak to the gods? I was starting to doubt him.
That's right. Although, I imagine they're not all too pleased with being stuck inside of Aurelia Cavella all this time. He wouldn't have an easy time controlling them.
Why does he keep them trapped there? Why not let them go?
I don't know. I've never met your speaker, and I haven't been able to contact any of my fellow gods trapped there. In 500 years, anything could have changed.
So how has he survived for 500 years then if, like, he doesn't have any believers or whatever?
He was always meant to be our connection, our lifeline to mortals. It's sad that we lost that. Although, now that I can actually talk to you all, that's nice too. Rain, may I ask you a question?
Huh?
If I asked you to return to Aurelia Cavella right now and stay there your whole life, would you? You'd never be able to speak with Fawn, or Sign, or any of the people you've met, ever again. Would you want that?
I never felt trapped, you know? We didn't know any better, but now, if I was asked to return now, aware of everything going on, out of my reach, I wouldn't be able to.
He smiled at me again.
That's right. I'm sure that's how they feel too. They've been cut off from everything they loved, everything they watched over. If I were them, I would be making my anger known.
How?
Simple things. Making the wind blow just a little bit less, the soil less fertile. Things that, over time, would force people to act.
What? Make the wind blow a little less, bitch. Send a typhoon, you know? Let's really get angry.
That's
just passive aggressive what Varys is saying. Let's be aggressive if I was a god.
Not so different to what it's been like for the last few years. Okay, I want to get this straight. You're saying that a bunch of gods are trapped inside Aurelia Cavella, desperate to escape, and are trying to make our lives a living hell.
It's the only way for their voices to be heard.
What stops everyone from believing in them out here?
Well, some remain, secretly worshipping their favorite god, but not many.
My family, once upon a time, we worshipped a god too. But my parents always told us to never speak to anyone about it.
And you failed. You failed to never speak to anyone about it.
We don't. In Sid Cam, it's practically suicide to follow any gods, both socially and literally.
If the speaker is truly what he says he is after all, then my fate has to be correct, right? I was starting to think that maybe what he told me wasn't true. That my judgment was actually a lie. That I could amount to something. But that doesn't matter. Gods, people just like Varys, are stuck there against their will. And the speaker knows this. He knows, but leaves them trapped. Are we gonna have to save all the gods? I mean, it's like, they're gods. Save yourself. It's like, come on. You don't need us to do that for you. Come on. It's like, I might as well go save some CEOs. Like, just be serious. You know?
I don't like the look in your eyes. Don't try to get involved with something that has nothing to do with you.
Does it have nothing to do with me at this point? I want to help them. Maybe somehow would be able to.
Take one step at a time, Rain. It's admirable, but you should try to solve your own mysteries. Freeing them will be no easy feat, even if we somehow manage to find Aurelia Cavella. I don't know how you'd go about letting them out.
I know exactly where it is, though.
That's not the problem. It's surrounded by an unnatural mist that serves to keep out strangers.
I came across that too. I was following the river, and then found myself back at my house in a daze. I had no memory of it.
Then even returning home one day will be impossible?
Nothing is impossible, but just focus on one thing at a time, or you'll find yourself tripping up. You need to find Caspian, right?
That's right. That's step one. Then we'll work out the rest as we go.
That's right.
From the branch of a tree, a small yellow bird flew out and landed on Varys' shoulder. In an instant, Fawn was at his side.
You know, one of the best things about having a human body? I can be the one doing the petting.
He reached up and gently stroked the bird's head and beak, and it tweeted happily.
It's a little sad, though. The older I became and the more I grew up, the less people around me wanted to be pet.
Aw, I'm sure if you asked nicely, lots of people would gladly let you pet them.
Oh, you should try asking Ilron.
Me? Oh, Varys, would you be kind enough to give me a pat on the head?
Of course.
He reached up and smoothed down Ilran's messy hair.
What about you, Rain? Fawn? You too?
We both lowered our heads and Varys gently patted our heads. If I had to guess what I'd be doing today, being pet by a god wouldn't have been my first idea.
Leos?
Yeah, no thanks.
Would you rather Rain do it?
What? No, of course not. I mean, unless he wants to.
Oh god, you all are down bad. How is this party staying together like this when only Sign is getting any?
Ooh, me too. I want a pat.
See, he couldn't shut his mouth. He has to just lord it over everybody else. Fawn glanced at me and then back to the ground a couple of times, trying to get my attention.
Do you want one too, Fawn?
Yes.
Y'all are so horny and desperate. I could practically see his tail wagging happily. He was like a little puppy.
You know, you act like an obnoxious prick, but you're pretty whipped around this guy, huh? What do you owe him?
The irony of that coming from you is hilarious.
Oh, no, Leos, you got it wrong. I know what's up with them. They're married.
That pronunciation was awful. We know that's not how is pronounced. Please.
What? You're badly mistaken. We're friends, just friends.
They fuck.
Rain, you're very sweet, but the two of us, yes, we're just friends.
Fucking backdoor friends.
Seriously, a god and a human? Oh, that would be an accident waiting to happen, right?
What's the accident? You can't get pregnant. Unless you can get pregnant from a god seed. Then that, ooh, M-preg, okay. I'm interested to see that. He watched Varys out of the corner of his eye.
That's right. It would never work.
And do I look like the type to settle down and get married? Don't be stupid.
You're right. Sorry. I just assumed from the way you two act around each other. Guess I was wrong.
The conversation dwindled out awkwardly, and Illyrian walked slightly ahead leading us, even though the path only went in one direction. How does he lead us so well if he's blind? Time passed slowly, and soon the sun had already begun its descent into the horizon. We found another place to rest for the night quickly.
I'm starving.
Me too.
I wish I had something to give you.
Nut?
I'll go hunt us something to eat for dinner. I do it all the time.
Let me come help you.
You three should stay here. I don't want any missing children reports while I'm gone, okay?
He gently leaped Soren's body against a tree before turning around and leaving with Varys in tow, sinking into the growing shadows. He still looked like he was sleeping, but if he woke up here, where negative emotions could be amplified, that would be disastrous.
Ugh, good riddance. Might finally be able to have some peace and quiet.
Aw, Fawn. You should have offered to go with them. He'd be great at hunting animals.
I don't hunt them. I couldn't.
Oh god, he's a vegan.
What? Are you a vegetarian or something?
I'll eat it if it's offered to me, but it's not my first choice. And I could never kill one myself.
Oh no, he's just a pussy. Okay, but like same? But same, I understand you, Fawn.
Well, here I thought you'd make an amazing serial killer. Hidden behind that cute exterior could be something wild.
That's not funny. I'm not a murderer.
Oh, but imagine if you were. The clash between your looks and your secret personality. Ooh, it sounds so sexy.
Do you think death is funny? Do you think that's something to joke about? If you have nothing better to do, go bug someone else.
He turned away from Sign, anger passing over his face. Before now, I'd never seen him so abrupt. He was usually all ums and ahs and never spoke up for himself. It was just Sign, I think. He knew how to press people's buttons.
Fine, fine. I can tell when I'm not wanted. Rain, you'll talk to me, right?
Well, I'm already on your route, you know. I don't know if I can be pumping points into anybody else this late in the game.
Of course. Whatever you want.
I'm gonna get some fresh air.
Without giving us time to object, he disappeared into the trees.
I'll go find him.
I moved to stand, but Sign put a hand in front of me.
Let me. I'll go find him.
Oh. Well, okay. If you really want to.
He rushed off in the direction Fawn went, a smile on his face.
Was that really a good idea?
What do you mean?
Fawn hates that guy. Don't you see how he talks to him? How he looks at him? He wants nothing more than for him to disappear. I'm not convinced yet, but if the legends about this place are true, they're the last two you should be leaving alone together.
Don't be stupid. Sign would never hurt Fawn. I'm sure of it.
That's not what I meant.
Daddy's bringing home the bacon!
Ilran and Varys appeared again, one holding a couple of rabbits and the other with an armful of wood and kindling.
There's something really disturbing about you calling yourself Daddy.
Where'd the twerps go? Didn't I tell you guys to stay put?
Fawn went for some fresh air, and Sign went to get him.
Some fresh air whilst we're outside, right. Well, the smell of the food should bring them back pretty quickly.
I looked back out in the direction the two of them went a few moments ago, whilst Ilran lit a fire and began preparing the meat.
You think Fawn would hurt him? There's no way. He couldn't even harm a fly.
I'm not so sure.
Ah!
Oh. Out of the darkness, Sign sped into the camp, panting. I jumped to my feet and caught him in my arms before he could collapse.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
He's insane. He's a maniac. He's going to... He wants to...
Slow down and explain it to me properly.
I just wanted to tease him a little, you know? But he went ballistic.
Maybe he really does have serial killer vibes.
Do you really think this is the time or place to be working someone up?
I didn't think he was actually taking it personally. I just wanted to have some fun.
You know, he's a lot tougher than he looks. He just bottles it up when he's angry. I thought he was weak at first, but he's proved that he can hold his own. I wouldn't mess with him personally.
Ilran stood from his spot, leaving the food unprepared. He turned and spoke quietly to Varys for a moment.
I'll go get him. We don't want him getting lost.
Oh. Thank you for the lesson in pronunciation once again, Divine Speaker. So ordinarily that's ellipses. It's usually I hear it going like, you know, not really any very loud sounds, but they have an interesting take on it. Now I know how it's the correct way to pronounce it. God, he's a demon. He's a little demon. Maybe we need to have Varys suck the fucking life force out of Fawn. A swirl of blue whirled into the camp, straight towards us. He pulled the knife out of the rabbit's back and held it out in front of him. Oh god. Is this all because I didn't want to give you any dick? And I was just giving it all to Sign? That can't be what this is about, is it? I think that's what it's about. Okay, maybe it's about the forest. It's probably about the forest. Did I read this? His eyes were hollow, empty, a look I'd never seen before, so different from the kind, shy Fawn that I knew. I might have read that. He walked towards Sign, whose face had morphed into a mask of terror. In an instant, both Leos and I had jumped in front of him with our arms spread out to protect him.
Fawn, wait a minute. What are you doing? Put that down!
There's no need for this. Calm down and we can talk it out, yeah?
No! No, I won't calm down! He deserves everything that's coming to him! I'll kill him right here! His blood could still get to the roots around us and feed the trees!
His voice sounds different when he's all angry and not mumbling. Right? Am I right? But God, just seeing these moments, I'm just so sad that that this isn't Kiba Walker anymore. That demo just, it got me so excited when I heard Kiba in that demo, and now, you know, it's just, I have blue balls. I do. I wonder, what was the drama with that anyway? I think I missed the tea on that. I would be interested to know. If anyone knows what happened with that, I would love it if you told me. Anyway, let's continue.
He'll die here!
Stop! That's not how you really feel. You're letting it get to you.
Just imagine Kiba saying those lines to us. Oh, to die for.
Try to calm down, okay? We can work this out without any violence or bloodshed.
His face became angrier and angrier, and the campfire flames became wilder, echoing his emotions. Ilran whispered to Varys again, who turned towards Fawn.
Fawn, please put that down. Sign means you no harm, and you don't want to hurt him.
Fawn took a few steps towards us, towards Sign. He yelped and sunk back further, terrified.
Ever since you first turned up, I knew you were trouble. You only want to take Rain away and hurt him. You don't care about him, or any of us. Only yourself.
I kind of feel like with my harem, they're all really only out for themselves, you know? They want the dick, they want the Rain dick, don't know why. But they want it bad. And they don't care if they have to step over everybody else to get it. But that's just my reading of the situation.
You're a narcissistic, useless, spoiled brat who wants to dirty everything he sees.
Also true.
The only way you'd be useful is 6 feet under the ground, feeding the earth!
No. I'm...
True, but harsh.
Shut up! Don't you dare speak to me! You have no right!
You don't talk to no sluts. The fire sprung to life, spreading menacing shadows all around us. Ilran waved at Leos from behind Fawn. He nodded towards him and motioned to grab him on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. They all sprung on him.
Get off of me! I said, get off! Or I'll hurt you too!
Well, his like little sprite over here looks just fine, you know. He doesn't seem too mad. He don't seem no upset. Even with both Ilran and Leos pinning him to the ground, Fawn struggled and tossed around, close to breaking loose.
Rain, there's a bottle in my back pocket. Quick, get it and pour it down his throat.
What?
Now! There's no time for you to be indecisive!
Might be cyanide, might be some sleeping medicine, who knows? Let's do it. I quickly dug around in Ilran's back pocket and found a single vial of an unknown substance. Fawn thrashed around, screaming and cursing. I'm so sorry, Fawn. I hope this will help. I knelt down beside him, forced his mouth open, and poured the contents in. His eyes were filled with loathing, and seeing them directed at me, it hurt. Only a moment later, his head lolled to the side, and he stopped fighting against us.
Well, he's a lot stronger than I expected. Lucky I got some help with that one.
His chest rose and fell softly, and his face finally cleared of its angry expression. He was sleeping like an angel.
You wouldn't guess it from a small frame, but he packs a serious punch.
Sign still stood stuck in place, looking down at the unconscious Fawn.
Don't let it get to you. The Amaranth grab onto people that are full of anger and easily swayed. And both of those things apply to Fawn. He wasn't himself.
Oh, my poor baby. He was so full of anger the whole time. He didn't like seeing me wrap my arms around Sign's waist and kiss him all over.
Of course. I know that.
Well, that makes Sign less, outwardly expressive of his, desire for my cock, or is he still just gonna be just as, what's the word? I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but is he still gonna be just as loud about it? Can a force influence someone that much? Is it truly the work of some lingering god? The disconnect between the Fawn I knew and the Fawn I just saw was too much.
What did I give to him?
It's just a sleeping decoction. He'll be out cold for a while, but it's not harmful. He probably needs the time to cool off.
I mean, if it knocked him out that fast, it kind of seems like it might be harmful, but hey. I gently picked him up and moved him closer to the fire, so he wouldn't be cold during the night. His hair was wild, filled with leaves and dirt from the scuffle. I pulled out what I could and turned back to the group.
At least there'll be no need to keep watch tonight.
What? Why?
The only two dangerous people in the group are out cold. And I don't think any of us are up for a fight after seeing that. Tonight, we just rest.
The rest of the night held little talk. Ilran and Varys kept to themselves. Sign refused to speak, and Leos nodded off early into the night. I tossed and turned, unable to find sleep. There was just too much to think about, and I was worried about Fawn. Eventually, sleep found me, and I was whisked away into another silent, empty dream. In the middle of the night, 2 men sat leaning against a tree, watching over the camp. one with his arms behind his head, quietly whistling, and the other with his hands together in his lap, humming along.
You said no one had to keep watch, but really what you meant was you be doing it.
Elrond's eyes drifted to... Is he a god? Does he even need to sleep? Well, I guess he can't keep watch. He can become a bird and keep watch, though, right? The warm, flicking light of the fire and the cool silver light of the moon lit up his fair skin and accentuated his delicate features. His face was a mask of sincerity with a hint of a smile in the corners of his eyes. He's enjoying this somehow. All of this activity. Compared to usual, this is much more lively. Yes, I said usual.
Someone has to make sure none of them run off or injure themselves. You'd think they were a group of teenagers with the drama they cause.
It was certainly an eventful night, but with so many strong personalities in one place, something was bound to break down eventually. It all worked out fine, but I worry about the aftermath. I hope I'll be able to reconcile.
There's not much to reconcile. They barely liked each other from the get-go by the sound of it. Oh well, who knows? It's not my problem.
Varys reached up and swept some of his peachy locks behind his ear. When he blinked, his long, dark eyelashes brushed against his pale skin in stark contrast to one another.
You already care about them more than you want to admit, it seems.
Purely for selfish reasons. I want their secrets. I'm sure they'll be the key to getting you into Aurelia Cavella. For now, we'll play it quiet and help them with Soren. Later, we get what we want from them.
You make it sound very methodical, but I don't disagree.
You should get some sleep. I'm fine keeping an eye out myself.
I'd rather stay here with you, actually. And I'm not tired, but I feel like I should be. Honestly, even now, I can still feel Nox's energy coursing through my body, from the top of my head all the way to my toes. It feels wrong.
There's something I wanted to ask you about. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine too, and I'll respect that. It's something I already had an inkling about, but I could never find the right time to bring it up. When Nox mentioned what he'd gone through, you said that something similar happened to you. I don't want to overstep any boundaries, but...
No, it's fine. You know I'll share anything with you. It was a long time ago now, but my body still feels it as if it were yesterday. I was staying by the Cape of Snowdon, in the city of Lasmere, several years after my parents passed away. Have you heard of Lasmere?
A little. They used to be known for their research into medicine, if I remember correctly. They were always at the forefront in that field.
Varys smiled softly, sadly.
Yes, that's right. The king of Sidcaeum commissioned the local lord to do this research after the Aurelian War, to show people that they needn't hold any faith in the gods, just science and technology.
Atheists. Infidels.
After my parents passed, I thought I could pass on the knowledge that they left with me and help to make the world a better place. So, I traveled to Lasmere and spent a few years teaching and healing. It was peaceful for a time. It seems that the peace can never last for people like us, though. Someone accused me of being a witch, and I was immediately detained within Lasmere's dungeon.
Just fly away?
Things they did in there were horrific, to say the least. They may have made progress in medicine by leaps and bounds, but at what cost? I wonder just how much they learned from my pain.
Oh my god, stop bitching. You're fine.
I didn't know. Why didn't you try to escape?
I would have. I wanted to. But I learned of the other prisoners. They weren't like me. They weren't gods or demons or witches or any of the other things humans are so quick to fear. They were normal people. Some of them were children of the detainees or orphans with no home to return to. I never saw their faces, but I heard their screams and pleas. I felt their souls screaming out for a savior. I can't even begin to explain how much pain I went through. But hearing their screams The screams of the children begging for their parents was worse. I couldn't just leave them there. No one else would have helped them. When I escaped, I made sure that research facility would never be able to be used again. The Lord didn't live much longer, and anyone that dared to touch any of those prisoners also met unfortunate ends. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's not something I regret either.
Yet his body was completely immaculate. If he was anything but a god, it would be covered in scars. Instead, they hide where my eyes... Wait, why does it say Ilran saying this? Is this not Rain's inner dialogue or monologue? Whatever. Instead, they hide where my eyes can't find them, hidden below layers of composure. Varys.
What do you think? It doesn't make me much better than Nox, does it? I might justify it to myself. But does the reason for murder make the act condonable?
Don't compare yourself to him. The two of you are nothing alike. That was all Nox knew. He killed for revenge, for pleasure, for fun. There's a difference between that and protecting innocent lives.
Elrond's might quality at the start and middle of that, and maybe all of that, seemed really off.
Maybe I'm not the best judge. I have plenty of blood on my hands myself. But I wouldn't have done anything different if I was in your shoes.
Thank you, Ilran. I wasn't looking for validation or sympathy, but I'm happy that you'll still accept me, flaws and all. You know, you've grown a lot since we first met.
I was a reckless, hot-headed kid back then. It's kind of embarrassing, really. I'd rather forget it.
You were brash, but it was endearing in its own way. The you from back then wouldn't have accepted me so easily.
It's thanks to you, you know. If you weren't there...
You would have been fine either way. You have a good head on your shoulders and a stout heart. Even once I'm gone, you'll be all right.
Varys' serene expression slipped for a moment before melding into a soft, comfortable smile, one he always did when he wanted to put someone at ease.
You know, I'd help you even if it took a whole lifetime. I'd go anywhere for you. Do anything you needed me to.
I wouldn't ask that of you, but I appreciate the sentiment. You have your own life to live outside of me. I've already taken 7 years from you, which is unforgivable.
That's right. This can't last forever. He doesn't want it to either. To him, my life will pass in the blink of an eye.
Of course. I think we're getting closer anyway, so you'll have to deal with me for a little bit longer.
Varys giggled softly, placing his hand on Ilran's shoulder and squeezing.
I think I can do that.
The two continued watching over the camp for a few more hours before falling asleep side by side. Yeah, I thought Rain was watching them do that.
Oi. Rain. Wake up.
I sat up from where I slept and stretched out my shoulders. The firm, icy forest floor wasn't doing much for my poor back.
It's not like you to be up first.
Up first. I barely slept. Not that I want to be picky or anything, but this isn't exactly the most luxurious place we've had the pleasure of staying at.
I'm not sure any of the other places we stayed have been particularly luxurious. I mean, Soren's mansion was amazing, but...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Anyway, it's about time we got moving. Ilran and Varys just went to scout around. Fawn's still out cold, and Sign, he's been sitting over there by himself. He hasn't said a word to me this morning.
That's... very unlike him.
He still seems pretty shaken about what happened. Hey, why don't you go and try talking to him?
I turned my eyes to where Sign sat. He stared down at the ground, a neutral expression on his face. I approached him slowly and waved to get his attention.
Hey, Sign? How are you doing?
Well, that is where we're going to end this video for today, guys. So, I thank you all for watching. And when we come back in the next episode, we will talk with Sign. See if Fawn didn't scare all the horny out of him. And maybe we'll find out what the fuck went on with Fawn. So, see you next time, guys. Bye.